This video is to show you how to make a cute little jelly bean bat. I love these little guys. They work up so quickly. And you only really need the one color of yarn with just a little bit of the pink and some worsted weight yarn here for the eye detailing. So I've been using a combination of different yarns, mostly Hobbii lately to use up my stash. So this is the Honey Bunny yarn in lilac and anthracite. And then today I'm going to use Baby Snuggle in the color Koala. Toucan is another good yarn, and those three are all from Hobbii. Premier Perfect Chunky is another good yarn. And I think these little guys would be so cute if you used a 4-weight yarn and made sort of a keychain size bat as well. And to do that, you would just need a smaller hook. So today we're going to use an H hook, which is a 5.0 millimeter. I have 10 millimeter safety eyes. If you don't want to use safety eyes, that is okay. I will leave a link below for you to embroider the eyes on later. In addition, I have my scissors, sewing needles, stitch markers, and of course a bit of stuffing. If you'd like to follow along with a written pattern, I have it available on my website. And there is also a paid version available on Ravelry and Etsy. And that's about it. Let's get started. Okay, so let's begin by making the right wing. To do that, we want to leave about a 4 to 6 inch tail, and we'll use that to tie the wings and secure them more fully. Later on, I will show you what I mean. But start with a slip knot. And then you want to chain 10. Okay, and to begin row 1, we're gonna work into the back bump of the chain. So, well, I'm gonna work into the back bump of the chain. You can work into whatever part of the chain you feel comfortable with. I like to work in the back bump because I know that for the right wing, we're gonna start at the top of the wing and work our way down. We're not gonna be doing like a continuous oval round where I need both sides of my chain, or I need to work into both sides of my chain, sorry. We're just gonna be working in the one side. So if you work in the back bump, then you get this nice pretty V shape on the other side for the top of your wing. So in the second chain from the hook, so see these little bumps here? That's the back bump I'm talking about. And then that leaves your V here on the other side. In the second chain from your hook, you want to place 2 single crochet stitches. Okay, then we want to single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Next, we want to place 3 single crochet stitches into our next. Oh, sorry. No, we want to single crochet 3 together. Next, we want to single crochet 3 chains together. So to do that, you're going to just put your hook in under that bump, yarn over and pull up a loop, and do that for the next 2 stitches as well, so 3 in total. And you'll have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and go through all 4 loops on your hook for your decrease there. Then we want to single crochet in each of the next 2 chains. And in the last chain, we want to place 2 single crochet stitches. So at the end of this round, you should have 9 stitches, or row, sorry, you should have 9 stitches. So at the end of each row for our wings, we will have 9 stitches. We're going to increase on the ends, and we're going to decrease by 2 in the center. So that will keep the same number of stitches right through the wing. Next, for row 2, we want to chain 1 and turn. And then we're going to place 2 single crochet stitches into our first stitch. So all the rows are pretty well the same, except here we're working in chains and up here we're working in stitches. So 2 single crochets in our stitch. Then you want a single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Then you want to do a single crochet 3 together. 1, 2, 3. So to do that, don't worry about invisible decreases or anything like that yet. We're just gonna decrease normally by pulling up a loop from each of those 3 stitches and then yarn over through the 4 loops on the hook. Then single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. And last but not least, we want to do 2 single crochet stitches in our final stitch here. This stitch got pulled a little bit. There we go. Okay, and sorry, 2 single crochets in that final stitch. Then on to row 3. Row 3, we want to do the same thing as row 2. So chain 1 and turn your work. Then you want to place 2 single crochets in the first stitch. Single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. And then single crochet 3 together. Single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. And then for your last stitch, we want to place 2 single crochets in it. Okay, so again, after each row, you should have 9 stitches, and you should have sort of this chevron shape. So this is our right wing. So it will sit like this on the body, and our body will be here. And to crochet it on, we'll fold it in half and crochet through the end to get the right shape. So to finish this off, we want to leave about the same length for our tail. Then you just want to yarn over and pull through that loop to secure it. Okay, so again, this one is our right wing. Next, we're going to make our left wing, and our left wing will be made from the bottom of the wing up. And so that allows us to have the first and last rounds facing forward for our right side, and the strings, or tails, sorry, to be able to be pulled into the body. So for the left wing, we want to again leave about 4 to 6 inches. Do a slip knot and chain 10. Okay, and then in the second chain from the hook, and again, I'm going to be using the back bumps as opposed to the front V's here. But in the starting in the second chain from the hook, and also using this third chain as well, we're going to do a single crochet decrease. So we're going to single crochet those 2 together. Then we're going to single crochet in each of the next 2 chains. We're going to place 3 single crochets in our next chain. Single crochet in each of the next 2 chains. And then finish with a single crochet decrease or single crocheting 2 together for these last 2 stitches. So you're going to end up with 9 stitches at the end of each row here, because we'll do the decreases on the ends and we'll do 2 increases in the center. So there is row 1 for you. See, we've got a bit of a chevron shape again. Then chain 1 and turn. And then you're gonna, again, do a single crochet decrease to begin your row. Don't worry about invisible decreases at this point. Once we get to the body and head, we'll do invisible decreases though. Then single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. 3 single crochets in our next stitch. Then single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Followed by a single crochet decrease. So again, we're finishing row 2 with 9 stitches. Okay, there's row 2. Then we're going to chain 1 and turn. And for row 3, we're going to do the exact same thing we did in row 2. So we're going to do a single crochet decrease, single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, 3 single crochets in our next stitch, single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then finally we're going to do a single crochet decrease with our last 2 stitches. Okay, then once you've completed that, you're going to cut your yarn about the same length as the first tail, and you're going to yarn over and pull through. And you can see how we're going to fold up the wing to crochet it in a little bit here. Okay, when I come back, we're going to start the body and head. So the body and head are worked all in one piece, and we are going to start at the bottom with the body, and we want to begin with a magic ring. If you're not comfortable doing magic rings, especially with the chenille style yarn, that's okay. Go ahead and chain 2 and then place all of the stitches for round 1 in the second chain from the hook. So for round 1, we want to place 6 single crochet stitches into our ring. So with this kind of yarn, I tend to try and do my stitches looser for this round, just to help the ring close a bit easier. And then the rest of the rows will be a lot tighter, or rounds, sorry. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's try and close this. There we go. Okay, and don't forget to add your stitch marker in here. There we go. So on to round 2. For round 2, we want to place 2 single crochet stitches into each stitch around. So if you're unsure where your first stitch is, because see how there's this little bump here, then you can count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so that's your next stitch. So again, we're going to place 2 single crochet stitches into each stitch around. So we're going to go from having 6 stitches up to 12 stitches. So it's an increase round. On to round 3. Round 3 is also an increase round, and this time we're going from 12 stitches up to 18. And to do that, we want to single crochet in the next stitch and then place 2 single crochets or increase in the stitch after that. And we will repeat that 6 times around. So again, single crochet in your next stitch, and then 2 single crochets or increase in the stitch after that, and repeat a total of 6 times. Then on to round 4. So in round 4, we're gonna start making some feet. So to do that, we're gonna first do a single crochet stitch. So for this round, we're gonna start and end with 18 stitches, but we will have 2 bobble stitches as well in here. So again, to start round 4, we're going to start with a single crochet, and then we're going to do our first bobble stitch. Now, the bobble stitch isn't as scary as it sounds. What we want to do is we want to yarn over, insert our hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, through 2. So that little sequence there that we made, we want to do that another 4 times. So it's basically the beginning of a double crochet stitch, and then we want to connect all the double crochet stitches together at the top. So I will show you what I mean. So yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch that you were just working in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, through 2. So we need to do that another 3 times. Yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, through 2. Each time you do a section, you'll end up with another loop on your hook. That's how you can count to make sure you've done enough. Okay, we need one more. There we go. So you should have 6 loops on your hook here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then what you want to do is you want to yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. So you want to make this fairly tight so that your bobble sticks out. So yarn over, pull through all those loops, tighten it down a little bit. You can't pull too hard though because your yarn will snap. You don't want that. And then make sure you push over that giant bobble to make so that you're working in the actual next stitch and it's not sort of covered up. And then we're going to single crochet in this stitch here, and then we'll single crochet as well in the next 4 stitches. So there'll be 5 single crochets total in between your bobbles. Then we want our next bobble. So again, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, through 2. Repeat that another 4 times. Yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, through 2. So if you want a more detailed explanation on how to do a bobble stitch, I will provide a link below. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yarn over and pull through all of those loops. Then you want to tighten it down a bit so that your bobble sticks out forwards. And then to complete this round, we want to single crochet in each of the next 10 stitches. Make sure you've got the right next stitch. And then go ahead and single crochet in the last 9. So by the time you've completed this round, you should still have 18 stitches. So 16 single crochet stitches plus the 2 bobble stitches. Go on to round 5. Round 5 is a decrease round. We're going to go from having 18 stitches down to 15 stitches. And to do that, we want a single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches and then do a single crochet decrease. And this time we're going to do an invisible decrease. I've got a video that I will provide a link to below if you need more details on how to do an invisible decrease. But again, we're going to do single crochet in the next 4 stitches, then do a single crochet decrease, and we'll repeat that 3 times around to get our 15 stitches. So 1, 2, and then we've got our decrease. So you should have 15 stitches at the end. And then for rounds 6 and 7, I'm going to do them off camera, but you want to single crochet in each stitch around for both of those rounds. So both of the rounds will begin and end with 15 stitches. And then I will meet you back here for round 8. So here we are at the end of round 7, and I still have 15 stitches. Before we move on to round 8, I want to make sure I calculate out where my wings are going to go. So we all crochet a little bit differently. We have a bit of a different slant on our stitches. So this sort of checkpoint is to make sure that your wings will line up with your feet. So what we want to do is measure out the middle 7 stitches. So you don't have to put stitch markers in all of them. I'm going to just to kind of show you what I mean here. So that is my center stitch. You can use your crochet hook if you want to double check where you think the center is. And I'm going to place 3 stitch markers on either side just to show you what I mean. The more bats you make, you'll get to know where you need to start your next round in order for your wings to be in the right place. But for the first time or two that you make it, I would suggest measuring out here where you want those wings. Okay, so there's the middle 7. And then what we want to do is we want to count 1 stitch to the right of those 7 stitches. So right here. So for me, that's the next stitch. For you, it may not be. You may be too far over, you may be too far back. If you're too far back, just crochet an extra stitch, and that doesn't count as the beginning of the round. It's just a shift stitch. And if you need to take out stitches, then take out the next 3 and then do your decrease so that you still have 15 stitches. And then you'll be ready to start round 8. So again, for me, I've got my next stitch is correct. That's where I want to place my wings. If you're left-handed, you're going to be doing this on the other side of the body because your yarn will be coming around from this side. So you'll want the stitch to the left here for your first wing. So if you're left-handed, I want you to grab the right wing. And if you're right-handed, I want you to grab the left wing. So if we bring our wings out here, I can tell the front of the rows just by looking at them. If you can't tell it, then don't worry about it. If they're on the opposite sides, it's okay. But I find they also kind of curve in a little bit. So if you want that curve to go towards the front of your bat, if you can. And then what we want to do is we're going to fold this inner edge together, and we will place our hook through the end of those rows. So first I need to put my hook back into my stitch, and then I'm going to grab my left wing, and you want the right wing if you are over here and are left-handed. I'm going to grab my wing. I want to make sure that the opening of that fold is facing the front. So all these marked stitches, you want to make sure it's facing the front of your bat. And then with this loop already on your hook, you want to place your hook through. So it's approximately the end of round 1 or row 1 and row 3. It doesn't have to be perfect. You want to try and do the same thing for both wings though. So see how I've got that opening. The opening, once I crochet it in, will be facing forward. So then we also need to put this next stitch here onto our hook. So you should have like 4 sections. You should have the loop that you originally had, the 2 sections of wing, and then your next stitch of the body. So then what we're going to do is we're going to do a single crochet through this. So I find just having this 1 crochet stitch not as secure as it could be, and that's why we're going to tie in these ends into the body after we've completed a couple more rounds. So finish your single crochet stitch here for your wing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take out all these stitch markers so that we can see what we're doing. I should add that in round 8, we're going to go from 15 stitches down to 12 stitches as well, with those decreases happening in between the wings. While you're doing the wings, you just have to worry about that single crochet stitch. But then here we want to do a single crochet decrease with our next 2 stitches. Single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And then you're going to do another decrease, single crochet decrease. And then we need to get ready for our next wing. So the next wing, we're going to use the same method. We're going to fold our wing. When you're folding it as well, I should have said to make sure that the point of the chevron is facing up towards where the head will be. Okay, so we're going to fold that in half like that. And then make sure that you already have this loop on. We want the opening to that fold to be towards the front of our bat. And we're going to just place it there in front of the next stitch. You're going to put your hook through the sides of the rounds 1 and 3. Now that may look a little bit backwards at the moment, but when you turn your hook to get to that next stitch, you'll see that the opening is facing the front of your bat. So again, you want your loop 2 sides to the bat with the opening the opening will be tucked into your stitch here, and you want the next stitch of your body, and you're going to single crochet through all of that. Okay, double check that your wings are facing the right way, and then we're going to finish the round with a single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Single crochet decrease, and then 2 more single crochet stitches. So you began this round with 15 stitches. You should be down to 12 stitches now. That includes 1 stitch for each of the wings plus another 10 stitches. So 12 stitches in total. Okay, before you move on, make sure your wings are on and like these ends should be facing forwards. I'm gonna wait at least another round before I pull in these ends, just to make sure that I don't get caught up in the actual stitches. So let's start moving on to round 9 here. Round 9 is an increase round. So we're starting to create the head. And to do that, we want to go from having 12 stitches up to 24. So we want to place 2 single crochet stitches into each stitch around. So it's a pretty drastic jump. I find if we do this round first and then we'll pull in those tails to get them out of our way. So again, 2 single crochets or an increase in each stitch around. You want to make sure you have 24 stitches when you've completed this. Okay, so go ahead and double check that you have 24 stitches. Then what we're going to do is we're going to pull in these ends. So to do that, you see kind of where it was crocheted in here. So you want to take the top part and go maybe just above the wing. And pull in that end. Then we're going to go just below the wing and pull that end in. Then we're going to go to the inside here. So if you want the wing to have more fold, then put them in a little bit closer together. I think I might actually do that. This one's a bit high, this top one. So I'm going to pull that in here instead. This part's completely up to you. And then go to the inside of it and tie it off. And if you prefer, you could sew on this part, but I find with the stitch holding the wing plus this, that's enough to make a solid bond. So tie that off nicely and tuck those ends in. And we have our one wing complete. Then we can do the same on the other side here. Top. For the bottom, we're going to go just underneath the wing. Pull on that a little bit to make sure it's pulled in all the way. And then we're going to tie it up. All right, so there we go. Now for rounds 10 to 12, I'm going to do those off camera because for those 3 rounds, we're just going to single crochet in each stitch around. So you're going to begin and end with 24 stitches. So again, single crochet in each stitch around for the next 3 rounds, and I'll meet you back here for round 13. Next up, we have round 13. So you should currently have 24 stitches still after the end of round 12. And for round 13, we're going to have a decrease round. So we're going to go from having 24 stitches down to 21 stitches. And to do that, we want to single crochet in each of the next 6 stitches and then do a single crochet decrease. and we will repeat that 3 times. So single crochet in each of the next 6 stitches, and then do a single crochet decrease. And repeat that 3 times in total. Okay, on to round 14. And round 14 is another decrease round, this time going from 21 stitches down to 18 stitches. And to do that, we want to place a single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches, and then do a single crochet decrease and repeat that 3 times around. So again, single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches, and then do a single crochet decrease. Repeat that 3 times in total. Then round 15 is again a decrease round, and this time we're going from 18 stitches down to 15. So to do that, we want to place a single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches, and then do a single crochet decrease after that, and we'll repeat that 3 times in total. So again, single crochet in the next 4 stitches, then do a single crochet decrease. Repeat a total of 3 times. Next up, we're going to add in the eyes. So even if you're not adding safety eyes, I definitely recommend marking out where the eyes will go, because this will also help as a reference for where to place the ears once we get to that part. So what you want is to count up to round 12 of the body. And what we know is that we attached these wings at round 8. So if you can count up from there, so see where you attach the wing, and that's round 8, then 9, 10, 11, 12. So we want along that little indent there for that row. I'm just going to place one in that row or round to start. And then you want them to be 6 stitches apart. So you want to count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you don't want to secure anything yet. Go ahead and place in your eye, and then you want to see if they're straight. So these ones clearly aren't straight. So what I do is I would move this one to the left, and then move this eye one to the left. So that keeps them 6 stitches apart. Okay, so that looks nice and even to me. So go ahead and secure your safety eyes or place stitch markers in these spots. As again, it's going to help as a reference point for when we put the ears on in a few minutes. So secure the eyes however you like. Okay. Then we're going to move on, and I would recommend to begin stuffing at this point because we're going to decrease down to 12 and then 6. We only have 2 rounds to go here. So what you probably should start doing is stuffing at least the body portion of the bat. So whenever you're stuffing, you want to make sure you add more stuffing than what you really think you need, because it will all sort of settle over time. Put a bit extra in there for right now. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to put in there until I've completed my next round. So I don't like when it gets so high that then my hook gets caught in the stuffing. Okay. So then for round 16, we want to go from having 15 stitches down to 12. And to do that, we want to single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches and then do a single crochet decrease. And we'll repeat that 3 times around. So single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. Then do a decrease. Okay, so you should have 12 stitches. And this is where you want to finish at least most of your stuffing. Usually you can get in there even when you're down to 6 stitches to add a little bit extra. But you want to place most of it in there. And when you're placing your stuffing, you want to make sure you go under the lip here, the top of the head, so that the head's not flat. Okay, so round 17 is a decrease round as well. So this is our last round. And for this one, we're going to decrease from 12 stitches down to 6. So you want to do that by doing 6 single crochet decrease stitches. So single crochet decrease 6 times. Oops. So then I'm ending off here just by slip stitching to the next stitch. Then you want to leave about a 6-inch tail so that you can cinch up the last 6 stitches. Before you do that though, double check to see if you need any more stuffing in there. Okay, so I can see where I could definitely use a bit of extra. So I'm going to use the end of my hook to place it in there. Okay, that'll work for today. And then we're gonna go ahead and cinch up those stitches. I use the front loops of the round usually to cinch them up. And then I like to tie a little knot here. And then tuck the knot into the head. You can use your needle to fix it. All right, so let's measure out where we want our ears to go. So we want to start by using stitch markers to mark out where they're gonna go. We want to place them on round 14, about 9 stitches apart. So basically these are on round 12, these eyes. So then we've got round 13 and round 14. So we want to go along this round and about 9 stitches apart. So the 9 stitches isn't as important as making sure they line up with the eyes. So along here, I'm going to start about 2 rounds up and 2 stitches over and place my stitch marker there, and we'll see how that lines up with the other side. So about there. Then we're going to do that over here as well. We can go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is not 9 stitches, that's only 7, but that's because we've got the decreases in this round as well. And if we go from the eye, 1, 2, and then go back 1, 2, let's see what this looks like. That's why we're doing this with the stitch markers first, because it's a lot easier to correct at this point than it will be once we crochet. Okay, so this one looks a little bit further away than this one, but I like where this one sits better. So let's see if we can find a better stitch over here for this to go in. So you can also look at it from this angle. You can see this stitch is a little bit further back than this one. So let's kind of go, let's go with our next stitch back and see how that looks. Okay, so I think I like that better. All right, and when we're making the ears, we're gonna go underneath this stitch that we've marked to make the whole ear. And again with this stitch over here. Okay, so how far are these apart? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They are 9. Okay, so 9 stitches. All right. So then what you want to do is grab your yarn, and we will start in whatever side you want. The ears are the exact same. So you want to put your hook under the same stitch that you had marked. And you want to attach your yarn. So I'm just attaching with a slip stitch, and then I will secure it better after. So I've just got my slip stitch there. And then what I want to do is I want to chain 2. And then I am going to double crochet into the same spot. So we're working through this same, under the same stitch for the whole ear. So double crochet, chain 1, triple or treble crochet, whatever you call it, where you're yarning over 2. And then pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, chain 1, and then double crochet. Chain 2, and then slip stitch. Again, all of that happens in the same, under that same stitch. So finish the slip stitch. Okay, and then can cut my yarn and pull that all the way through. And you want to secure that down. And there we go. Kind of fluff up your ear a bit. And there we go. We've got our first ear done. These you can secure by tying to each other and then pushing in to the back of the head. Okay, and then we're going to make our second ear. So under the stitch that you marked, you want to attach your yarn again. Again, attach with a slip stitch. Oh, I'm caught under a different stitch here. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I'm securing for now with my slip stitch. I will eventually attach it to the other end and pull it through. So begin with chain 2, double crochet, and again you're working under the same stitch the whole time. Chain 1, triple or treble crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 2, and end with a slip stitch. End off your yarn. Okay, there we go. We've got our 2 ears. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and secure these ends quickly, and then we will do our nose. All right, so I have this sort of mauve color that I found sitting near me here that I think I'm going to use that for my nose here on my bat. You only need about, I don't know, 8 or 9 inches of yarn. You don't need much to make this nose. So to embroider your nose, you want to find the center 2 stitches, like just 1 round down from the eyes. So the eyes are on this round. I'm gonna go down to here and kind of find your 2 center stitches. Okay, and if you find that 3 stitches is more centered, that's okay too. But here we've got our 2. I'm just gonna go under that set of stitches, keep a couple inches for tying it off. Then repeat through that same set of holes. I would say maybe 2 or 3 times, depending on how big you want your nose to be. So I think that's big enough. And then over here where we first, in the first hole, that's where I'm tying my knot right beside that, so that when I pull in these ends, the knot will go in with it. Go, and then you can use your needle to sort of even it out. All right, and last but not least, we're going to put the little eye detail here. So this is a chunky worsted type yarn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break apart the plies. Again, you only need maybe 8 inches or so. And then you can just untwirl it. And I'm going to take half of it. So if you found like a medium worsted weight, you could use maybe 3 strands or 2, like depending on how thick you want the eye detailing. So I'm going to use this today. This is half of a chunky or a 5 weight worsted. Okay, and then you're going to start in at the top of the head. You want to come up. I usually try to come up like right here, just sort of the outside center part of the eye. Pull through there, leave a couple inches for tying off. And then I want to go down here. So this is sort of like the bottom right corner of the eye. And then I'm gonna come up the bottom left corner. And this doesn't always work perfectly every time. Sometimes you have to fiddle with it a little bit, depending on how picky you are. Okay, and I've seen some people use a little bit of glue in here to hold this down. I'm not going to do that today, but I do think it's a good idea. Okay, and then we're going to go in right about here and up. And see what this looks like. Oops. Pull. All right, so I think that looks good. If you wanted, you could do a bit of black at the top too. I'm just gonna leave it with the white. Simplify it a little this time. Just then tie it off. And then you wanna put your ends into the head. Whoops, it's okay, we can fix that. That's why gluing it on can be really helpful. There we go. All right, so there we go. We've got another little bat friend here. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye for now.